Hey everybody. So I've been wanting to do a video like this for a while, and just to kind of share my story. And I know coming out is a huge part in every gay person's life. I mean, you're sharing a part of who you are with the people that you care the most about, and it's just a very vulnerable time for everybody involved. I mean, personally, my story isn't really crazy or anything like that, but I know some people's that have been, and so I think I'm kind of on the lucky end of it, but so I figured I would go ahead and make a video about this. So I guess it all kind of started, I was about 11. I can remember being 11 and getting like a newspaper with all the ads in it, and there was an ad for men's underwear. And I remember thinking, wow, I want those underwear. Um, I remember the models being pretty fit, most of them were very handsome, and, I thought maybe that's what I wanted my physique to look like, not necessarily that I was sexually attracted to it, but I could tell that there was something different that I felt towards that than I did towards the women's underwear models. um, so that kind of sparked my curiosity. I can remember Googling, some things on my computer, and I remember coming across pictures of naked men and some homoerotic stuff, and I knew I liked it. I mean, it definitely aroused me, and I was 11 or 12, and this is a totally new feeling, and from then on I would fantasize about men. I can remember my dad coming into my room one day and saying, Andrew, I saw a couple things on your computer, and you're not really old enough to be looking at that kind of stuff. And he was like, maybe when you get a little bit older. And that was the end of that conversation. So I don't even want to know what he was thinking. So then about 2 years later, I was at Boy Scout camp. I mean, obviously up to this point, I've just knew that I've found boys kind of attractive, but never would I end up being with one. And I ended up being tent mates with this boy that I had found attractive for a while, and I didn't think that he liked me or that I liked him or anything like that. It wasn't like I knew or anything like that. It's just I found him a little bit attractive, and we ended up being tent mates. So that night, one of the nights when we were camping there, we ended up kind of like spooning and a little fondling, nothing intense, but I mean, still, it was intense for me at the time. It was life-changing almost. I had girlfriends at this point, and I had made out with a girl or whatever, and so but I knew that the guy, was a thrill much more than the girl was, and I thought maybe that was just because I wasn't supposed to be doing it, not necessarily because I liked it better. At this point, I knew that I liked guys better than girls, but there was no way that I was gonna come to terms with that. I knew I was gonna continue to date girls, and so over the next year, I would fantasize about guys, but still be with girls, a few girlfriends here and there, and experimented with those girls, and tried a couple of things. I'm no gold star, but a lot of the times I would think about guys while I was experimenting with those girls. So I mean, there's that. I don't think they want to know that now. Then I was 15, and at 15 I met a guy that was in band with me. He played drums, I played trumpet, and a lot of flirty eye contact. He was very handsome and funny and smart, and so at the time I fell head over heels pretty much. And we were at band camp during the summer, and making that flirty eye contact, and he asked me to come back to his room one night, and I was like, sure. So I went back to his dorm room, and we fooled around a little bit and made out and stuff like that, and that was like huge for me. That was like, this is a guy. And I can remember I thought I was in love, when you're 15 years old, and he was such a cool guy and stuff like that, but obviously we weren't going to tell anybody, and neither of us were very comfortable with any of this. But alright, so I knew I needed to sit down and think about what's going on with my life. I used to take showers. I still actually take showers to think about things. I like to sit in the shower and just let the water fall on me and just think about what I need to do or what's going on in my life. And I can remember I was 15 and I did that. I went and I sat in the shower and I came to terms with the fact that I was bi. That's what I call myself, bi. Like I said, my parents aren't very religious, so it's not like I had that pressure, but I knew that homosexuality is a rough lifestyle, especially at the time, I knew there was a lot of discrimination, and so that kind of scared me, but I came to terms with being called bi. At the time, I had a girlfriend, or it was on and off, so I think actually right then we were off, so I didn't tell her or anything like that, but I went ahead and told my friend Chad, and I told him at school the next day, and I can remember him just being so supportive and saying, like, this isn't a big deal, like, you shouldn't make a big deal about this, like, totally normal, like, complete opposite response I expected, but made me feel really good. So I went home that night and got on my MySpace and I put on there that I was bi. I got really scared about an hour later and pulled it down, thinking that nobody had seen it. So then the next day I was going out. I think it was a Saturday. I was going to go hang out with some of my friends that day, and I walked downstairs and was getting ready to go, and looking for my friend to pull in, and my stepmom walks in and she goes, "Andrew, I didn't realize that you like boys." I can remember my face getting like flush red. I got so embarrassed, and I said, "Yeah." And she was like, "Well, that's a really hard lifestyle, but we love you and we'll support you no matter what." And I can just remember being shocked that we were even talking about this, so like I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks, bye." And I ran out of there really quick, but really, really awesome response. My stepmom's been there for me since I was really young, and my dad is awesome too. And so went and hung out with my friend or whatever, and didn't really think anything about it. And then I was going to go to my mom's house that night. My parents are divorced, so 2 separate houses there. I got to my mom's house, and I walk in and she goes, "Andrew?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she said, "Come back here." So walked back to her room, and oh my gosh, she has the lights dim, and she's got candles lit, and she's got a couple of glasses of wine, and she hands me a glass of wine, and she goes, "So I got a phone call today from your dad." And I was like, "Oh God, like what is going on in my life?" So I can remember, my mom saying, like, "Give me the glass of wine," and I've never really drank before, and she was like, "Just have a sip," and I thought it tasted terrible at the time. And she, obviously I love wine now. And so she said, "I'm thrilled that you're gay." Like she said, I would love a gay son. Like that's a blessing. She was like, "Anytime you need anything, any support for anything, you just come to me." So awesome response. And from then on, my mom's been one of my biggest supporters. I never actually had like a coming out like experience straight with my dad, where I sat down with my dad and said, "Dad, I'm gay," but my stepmom told him, so he knew. And they had found all of that on my computer when I was younger, so they all had known the entire time. It's not like it's a big secret, but it's just the fact that I was comfortable enough with it so they could all know. But my dad is super awesome too. Super supportive. Anytime I've dated anybody, they've always encouraged me to bring them around and bring them to Christmas. And even my grandparents are like, "Oh, where's your boyfriend? Why is he not here with us on Thanksgiving?" And they're all super great. So thankfully, I got really, really lucky. I have a very supporting family. I was never really harassed in school. I had a really good group of friends in school that would stick up for me if anybody ever did say anything. There were a couple of people, but growing up in Arkansas, I got off way easier than I expected that I would. My little brother actually did get a little bit of crap from some people after I had already graduated about having a gay older brother, but my brother stood up for me and was fine and never had any problems with it either, I don't think. So props to him. And then I consider myself open now. I'm in professional school, and most of the people know. Actually, I'm pretty sure everybody knows. I mean, I was public with it on my Facebook, and I'm friends with everybody in my class and stuff like that. And all my professors and my attending doctors and everything know, and they're all really cool about it. The medical community is actually very progressive. That's great, but I've never had any problems with that. I brought a boyfriend to, you know, our formals and stuff like that, so it's great. But you know, not everyone is so lucky. I mean, I have several friends and exes and things like that that it's been hell for them to come out and tell people. I know that I had a guy that told his parents, and they took his door from him and his phone and threatened to put him in rehab, and it's sad that happens. I don't know. All I can really say is, if you have a friend or a brother or a sister that's gay, just support them. Tell them that you support them. Tell them that you love them. Don't force them to come out. Let them come out in their own time. But just make sure that they know that you love them and support them no matter what. And then if you have a family that is supportive and you are gay, let them know how much that means to you. I mean, don't take it for granted, I guess is what I'm saying pretty much. Expect another video soon. I moved to Denver in a week and a half, and I'm gonna drive through Austin, Texas on my way from Memphis. It's not on the way, it's adding like 8 hours or something like that, but my friend Travis lives there and I really want to hang out with him, and I've never been to Austin before, so I'm excited to see it. I'm gonna video blog the entire trip and everything that I see and everything that I do, so I'll post that then. If you have any questions or anything like that, be sure to leave them below, or any video ideas, write those down below too. Don't forget to subscribe. That really helps me see how many people are actually gonna follow. And I guess I'll see you guys next week. Thanks again for watching.